Good afternoon. My name is David Moore. I'm the police chief in Janesville. And with me is Superintendent Mark Holzman from the School District of Janesville. Before I start, we would like to share our thoughts and concerns to the victim and others that were affected by this crime. It's not lost on us the breach of trust that has occurred. But what we can offer is a thorough and prompt investigation, a transparent investigation. If there are additional victims, there will be prompt notification and appropriate services as needed. We want to put our victims on a path to recovery. First, I'll share with you the timeline of events. So at about 9:30 a.m., Craig's staff located a GoPro camera. It is located in a girls' locker room. It was promptly turned over to staff, Craig High School staff, and the Craig High School resource officer. At 1:30 p.m., the officer reviewed some of the images on the GoPro camera and was able to determine that there was a crime that had occurred and who the suspect was. The suspect was promptly arrested about within a half hour of identifying the crime. The suspect was boarding a bus for a track meet and was removed from the bus and ultimately taken into police custody. This is the suspect in the matter. It is a Brian Edward Kitzman, age 38, from Janesville. He currently is an assistant track coach with Craig High School. He formerly was a boys and girls swim coach at Craig High School. Here are the charges. Mr. Kitzman is charged with possession of child pornography, capturing representations depicting nudity, and invasion of privacy. Mr. Kitzman is currently being held at the Rock County Jail. And in the next few slides, these are the legal description of the charges that Mr. Kitzman is charged with, or the statutes. In the room, and many of you have availed yourself to them, but there are this PowerPoint presentation, and I share those various statutes with you so you can pick out the appropriate charges in them. So on to the scope of the investigation, some of the tasks that have been completed. The suspect has been arrested and interviewed, and we obtained a confession. We have notified the student victim and their family of the incident. We obtained consent to search Mr. Kitzman's vehicle at the school, and we obtained a search warrant for Mr. Kitzman's home and collected several electronic devices and digital media storage devices. Last night, an electric storage device sniffing canine was utilized at Craig High School and searched or sniffed the various lockers, and that canine was provided by the State of Wisconsin Division of Criminal Investigation. That search was also with Janesville police officers and Craig High School staff. Nothing of any evidentiary value was located in those searches. Some of the pending items that we have to do is we have a lot of electronic devices we have to search and determine the additional victims and duration of the crime. So far, we believe the duration of the crime was for 2 years, and there may be up to 18 victims. To our knowledge, these images were not shared with anyone else other than the suspect, as he kept them for his own interest. This was an opportunistic crime in that the victims were not selected. This suspect would find locations that he could place the cameras and then record the images in the various locker rooms, but the victims were not selected. In this particular incident, a student had been missing a towel for a few weeks. She saw the towel in a locker that has a graded front. She notified district employees, Craig High School employees, that she had found her towel. That particular locker had an administrative or Craig High School lock on it. Once the locker room was cleared, Craig High School assisted in retrieving her towel, and when the Craig High School official removed the towel from the locker, the GoPro item was located, and that is what was promptly turned over to Craig High School administrative staff and ultimately the school resource officer. But that's the set of facts that brought us to the arrest of Kitzman. So in a few moments we'll answer some questions, but I'd like to turn the podium over to Superintendent Mark Holzman.
Thank you, Chief Moore. We have twofold our plans right now. Is number one, to support our students and staff and families, and number two, to cooperate with the ongoing investigation. Over the course of the last 72 hours, we've been working hard to provide supports for our students and our staff. We have met with all of our staff earlier this morning to provide them with talking points. We've increased the amount of supports that we have at our building for our students. Last evening, we did go through all the areas what we had some concerns about, locker rooms, bathrooms, etc., in coordinates with the police department in order to provide some assurance that there weren't additional recording devices left behind. We do know that there's lots of emotions that all of us are feeling at this time, anger, frustration, and we are working hard to make sure that we are providing supports for all of us who are feeling those emotions. In addition to supporting our students, we added some additional presence from our police department and wanted to make sure that our students and our staff knew that their well-being was being considered. We do know that this is an ongoing investigation, so we continue to do all we can to coordinate and cooperate with the police department. We move on to the next slide, please. We do know that all of our employees do have a background check. We do know that the suspect has been an employee as a coach since 2004 and has worked in the school district as an assistant coach and varsity swim coach over the years. We do know that we have regular conversations with our coaches, and all of our coaches are on one-year contracts. Right now, this individual, our suspect, is on administrative leave. We have to wait for that investigation to conclude before we have a chance to finalize our employment considerations with Mr. Kitzman.